Welcome back to The Watch. And recently, we were staying watchful on a certain company that has recently had, how would you say, going-ons with game studios and kind of showed their true face in what their agenda is.
Sweet Baby Inc. And they have been a very ultra-progressive DIY, whatever it is, woke consultancy group that has worked with many video games, contributing to those video games being awful. Like, not only propaganda, it's like, oh, attractive women, can't have attractive women in video games, we've got to make them more, reflecting what women really look like. Because that's what we want in escapism. We want to see the real world. Like,
even then, I feel like most of these people who make these characters, have they been outside, like in the real world? Because, like,
they're not that bad either. Like Mary Jane. Do you see Mary Jane from? Like, it's not hard to find people that look much better than the Mary Jane, even in the real world. But that's the thing, right? I see enough of the real world in the real world. When I go to the escapism, I don't want to see myself reflected in the game. I want to see me as a mega Chad, ultra ripped hero, muscular guy.
We're getting off topic here.
Okay,
what happened was they were exposed to that. There's been controversy between the two sides, basically saying we didn't do anything, they did. And recently there's been a Kotaku article coming out defending them.
This is significant because what's happening here, right? So quick recap is Sweet Baby Inc. got exposed that this is one of the, infections in the industry. Gamers started to call them out, and basically they're calling out bad practices in the gaming industry. There was a time when gamers also called out bad practices in the gaming industry. That kicked off something. We might shelve that because we might come back to it, Nathan, right?
Sure.
So bad practice in the gaming industry, which is bad consulting and almost like browbeating, threatening game companies saying, "Oh, sure would be a bad thing if something, if your game was accused of being sexist, you don't want to be accused of that. You better work with us," kind of thing, right? And then a gamer made a Steam curated page listing all the games that this company had consulted on. The people at that company tried to get this guy cancelled, tried to dox him. I think they're doxing, but they definitely tried to get them cancelled, get the page taken down.
Get him banned. They reported him for harassment or something.
Yep. Then because they launched a harassment campaign against him, they got banned off of Twitter, and that shows the big difference. Anyway, so they tried to do that, but now the next stage of events that is very similar because it's like, calling out bad practices in game company. Okay, that's interesting. And there was a tweet that from Grums. He's actually a former game developer.
He made WoW, basically, and has done other stuff too.
So he says, the narrative formula, do something terrible and wrong. Okay, we see it. Get called out. Get journalist friends to write hit pieces on them. That's where we're at right now. And then he continues on, dox the people. Paint yourself as the victim.
Yep.
That's already been happening, yep. Dox the people doing nothing wrong except to point out what you are doing as a warning to other witnesses. Then up to stage 6, make up a bunch of fake incidents to false flag things when you don't have anything real to point out. And number 7, get Wikipedia to write an entry in your favor using your journalist friends as factual sources. It's the same pattern.
It's like he's been through this before.
Yes. So what we're seeing here, Kotaku has now done an article on the Steam page, and what's the content of the article, Nathan?
Well, we've got it up here, actually.
Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers think it does. And they're basically... So, yes, you want to...
Well, yeah, they're basically trying to defend and... gaslight people, I guess, by saying, well, no, you say that this is a whole woke agenda thing, but it's not.
This is hilarious, right? They say Sweet Baby Inc. is not the largest narrative design company in the games industry, nor is it solely responsible for the characters and stories in recent high-profile releases. And I'm going to add on that have failed dramatically. Not solely responsible. They are partially responsible. So there's definitely fault on them, but it's not all of them. It's like, wow, do you see how bad that defense is? It's like, well, this person is not solely responsible for the Holocaust, but it's like, do you understand what you're saying?
It reminds me of that meme of those mafia guys, and it's like, he was a great guy. He goes, but people were killed. What murder? Reminds me of that one.
Yeah. And so this is a pathetic, mainstream journalist media, right, trying to protect those people that are pushing the message. They're fully on board with the message, and they've done this before, right? So Gamergate, this is, they are trying to recreate what happened with Gamergate, because what happened in Gamergate? Found out that certain game journalists, right, it's so convoluted, Nathan. There was backhand deals exchanged for sexual favors to then get favorable both rewards in certain Game Jam awards as well as favorable reviews and things like that. And it was wholly corrupt, right? Gamers saw this, tried to call them out. In response to that, the gamers were called sexist, and the mainstream media all just almost on the same day came out with these articles calling gamers horrible things. Even there was the line "gamers are dead." The term "gamer" is dead because no one's going to want to identify them. They're all sexist. They're all horrible people. Gamers are dead. Do you remember all that?
Not really. I feel like I wasn't as much on the internet when this happened. And the culture war wasn't in little Nathan's mind at this time. He was too busy playing. He was too busy being a gamer, playing GTA Online with his friends and shooting people in Call of Duty like zombies. I didn't really care.
So they gaslit
everyone.
The extreme. And back then, the mainstream media, right? They had a little bit more reach. They were not considered to be completely without credibility. Much different to now, and that's one of the big differences to now. And Grum's been pointing out, it's like some people have said, that's actually because he's got some good takes, old Grum's here.
Well, just talking about just gaming stuff in general, when Bethesda first brought out Starfield, he said, "Oh, this game's going to suck because the menu screen is boring." And everyone said, "Bro, that's not true. That's not going to happen." And then after a week of Starfield being out, everyone's like, "This game's kind of boring."
Yeah, and I as good mate, Heels versus Babyface, called this crap out, especially the injection of pronoun ideology, and that's what set him off. But it wasn't just that. He was annoyed at everything. And the hypocrisy around it was insane. Like, they were trying to make fun of Az for getting upset about it, saying, "It's just pronouns, why are you getting upset?" When they were losing their crap at him. It's like, hang on, if this isn't a big deal, you're trying to say it's not a big deal, it's just pronouns. Why are you defending it like insane authoritarians where you will roast and attack? They attacked Az to the like calling him horrible names, everything, right? We're like, I thought this wasn't a big deal. If it's not a big deal,
you wouldn't care.
Why do you care if we don't want it? Why does it have to be in if it's not a big deal? And so the hypocrisy around all of this, it was and is insane. And so the Starfield one is just one thing amongst many. And the Act Man had tried to attack Az for it, and he was calling him horrible names and everything. Now he's getting called out because he was simping and trying to defend Starfield a lot when it's like we all realize Starfield is dog crap, okay? And people who are attacking Az for calling this crap out were completely in the wrong. And now is actually trying to accuse Az of lying and other things.
All messy.
All messy. And so one of the things that I like that he says, so this tweet here, I think, was actually pretty darn spot on because they're trying to create a new Gamergate. And this was what, someone says, "Must avoid a Gamergate situation at all costs. The deck is stacked against our side. No major publication will report the situation fairly." I agree with that part. I don't think no major, and look, Kotaku's already evidence of what they're trying to do, right? They want to repaint the narrative, claim everyone calling out Sweet Baby Inc. is like toxic, sexist man babies.
Yep.
Right? And then he continues like, if anything, they will circle the wagons, double down. Yes. Grums points something out spot on. He says there are two things very, very different to 2014. Trusted media was high back then, and it is close to zero now. Yes. 2, YouTubers have replaced journalists and have far more reach and truth. It's just amusing to see them try to gaslight everyone again. They're trying to do the exact same thing, it's the exact same playbook, but they're failing dramatically.
It's funny how it also coincides 10 years ago. They did the exact same thing. And 10 years again, they're like, all right, time to start another one.
But they've lost their credibility and YouTubers have replaced them. That's like, even look at us.
Which is crazy. Because I would think, as journalists, if it's your full-time job, you do a better job than YouTubers who a lot of the time, at least for us, we just look at something and then take it at face value and give our truth about it, and then it's good.
Give the truth and our opinion about it.
Exactly. Like we say opinion, it's like, all right, cool. That's probably true. But
I'm always just like the our truth. Like,
sorry, I added
I'm sharing my truth. No, you're sharing your opinion. There's only
I used the
truth.
trigger word. I'm sorry.
That's a trigger word for me. Sorry, Nathan.
Yeah, okay. The truth. Don't write that down. Okay. But yeah, anyways, the article, or actually, we should go to the Twitter feed of the journalist of this article, I think. You might find,
okay.
Before I clicked on the article, I checked who's this person that has shared this. And boy, do they have some tweets that you just go, okay. What does this person ask? Does this article mention anything about Sweet Paper Inc. being, CEO being,
full-blown racist? Because I have a feeling that this article doesn't mention it. But yeah, so the Sweet Baby Inc. CEO, like, insane activist, hugely racist, attacking white, straight white men and all the same type of stuff. And Elisa, so this is her reply. Hi, you can't be racist against white people. Thanks for tuning in. Holy crap. I thought the left had abandoned that line for how bad it made them look. When I say
they
left,
dug their
the
heels
extreme
in.
left, the ultra woke. They still believe. Look that. This lady is a horrible racist. Like, you can't be racist to white. Wow.
I'm glad now, because when I first saw this, there wasn't a community note, but now there is.
There's a community note. I love it. Racism isn't limited to marginalized or minority races, ethnic groups. It is simply the unfair treatment of people who belong to a different specific race, which can in fact include white people. I love community notes.
Thank you. So even before going into this article, you know the type of person...
It's written by a horrible, unhinged racist.
Yes.
Like, genuinely. She thinks you can mistreat white people in any number of ways, no matter how
it's not
vile.
racist. It doesn't count.
Like, solely for the color of their skin, and you're allowed to because they're white, and it's not racism because the white people are in the positions of power. You can't be racist to people who have the power, or something like that. It's like, really? Really, how many of these gamers have reach a platform to make their voice known? Are they writing for, Kotaku and stuff like that? Are they in positions of power? It's like, it's the bullcrap boogeyman where it's like, all these gamers are in a position of power so we can, be vile and racist and everything to them. It's like, they're not working in these mainstream
They're not a game
articles.
journalist.
They're not a game journalist. It's like, what platforms do they have control of? Like, these seats of power... Most of these platforms are in the hands of the ultra woke. It's like, they don't have the power, but it's like, but white privilege is like, really, the homeless guy on, living on the street that's white.
He has so much privilege.
Yeah, he has more privilege than the Obama daughters.
He could just walk into any business he wants and just own it.
Yeah, I can't. This vile ideology, and it's just disgusting. It is, at its core, sexist, racist, right, in the extreme, and this person is a horrible racist. And then, they write this article.
The whole article basically saying that, well, no, they don't do things. Was it DEI? That's what the DEI initiative. They don't do that. They're a narrative-driven place. Like, they might change some things, but that's just some of the times. You've got to be more progressive now because that's what stuff is. And a lot of it's just saying there are conservative, right-leaning gamers who are racists and bigots, and we should be worried about them and fear them. And this whole article is basically fear-mongering for both sides. It's to make the right more angry and aggressive at the left, and it's to make the people in the left... Like, I saw people who I follow on Twitter who are more left-leaning game developers, and they were retweeting this, kind of terrified because they're like, well, I don't want to go back to the old days where, like, I couldn't get a job because of, my race or skin or whatever. So they're trying to also fear people on their side into being like, well, if we let this change and whatever, then you're going to lose your job as well. Like, it's both sides that they're trying to seed into fear.
Classic manipulation.
Yeah.
Trying to, fearmonger, get people to be divided and aggressive against each other.
They're basically saying this, people of color should be concerned for their jobs because this means that, like, gamers are going to...
hang on. Are they trying to, do they actually think people of color would not be able to compete and keep their jobs in a fair environment that is based solely on merit? Do they have such a low opinion of people of color, of that? That's not, you know what that's called? It's the soft bigotry of low expectations. Yeah. They're racist, these people. They honestly think that gosh.
Yeah. So most of it's just all fear mongering, and also it makes me frustrated, laugh that a gaming blog website goes, listen here, gamers, you guys are all racists and bigots, and we shouldn't, they talk down to you as a reader.
They hate you. They hate gamers, and that's their primary orders. They hate them.
Yeah. Kotaku's written so many articles recently where she's been like, all right, so who is this for? If I'm a gamer and I shouldn't be reading this because apparently you hate me, then who are you writing to? Like the void? Obviously they're writing to people who they want to put on pedestals and say, look how great I am for denigrating gamers. But they...
And if they're trying to say that, like, oh, it was just some suggestions or anything like that, it's already proven wrong. So Short Fatatake, he did an interview with one of the people that worked on the Saints Row game. And they admitted that, the Sweet Baby Inc. Consultant basically had complete,
out of control of the story and could do whatever they want. The other scary thing and the tactic that they showed in this article was they were talking about how obviously there was the Steam group. They also have a Discord, and they infiltrated the Discord. And you know what they tried to do? Obviously, at first they try to get people's opinions and try to change their mind and stuff. But
what's the pattern that we see here that Grums mentioned? Do something terribly wrong, get called out, get journalist friends to write hit pieces, paint yourself as a victim. Oh, dox the people doing nothing wrong except point out what you are doing as a warning for other witnesses.
What they did was they went to the Discord server and they tried to find profile pictures of like their actual names, their addresses, and they were annoyed that like, oh, this Discord server, 2,000 people, no one has their real names or addresses, so we can't find out who they are so we can track them down.
Yeah, like seriously, someone posted some Discord messages from one of these people, and they were saying, so why don't you have your real name on there? That's a bit weird. Don't you want to share your real name? What are you afraid of? Like stuff like that. It's like, can you be more transparent?
Have you not been on Discord? Like, okay, boomer. But even then, it's like, growing up, we were taught not to put your real names on the internet, and now you're like, hey, why don't you like dox yourself so I can find you where you live?
Exactly. They're trying to dox the Discord group.
Yes.
Even now, these people are vile scum.
Yes.
They really are. They want to destroy people's lives for disliking the narrative. I don't want to be a part of this woke agenda. I don't want to support games of it. That's the consumer's right. Oh, how dare you oppose us? We will try and destroy your life. That's what they tried to do with Gamergate. They tried to call people out. They lied about people. All this crap, destroying people's lives. It's not going to work this time.
No.
And it's encouraging to see. It's like, game journos, go jump off a cliff. No one cares what you say. We're calling you out on your crap, and you don't have the influence anymore. That's why I like what Graham says. YouTubers have the influence now.
Yeah. It won't be just us doing this. It's going to be a lot of people and a lot of viewers watching and being switched on this time.
Yep.
And I hope that people this time aren't going to give in to the fear mongering. That people are just going to go, stuff you.
That's the and that is the answer. These like insane, unhinged people that want to destroy people's lives only have as much power as people give them. If you just say, get stuffed, they have no power. They've been trying to come after me, all right? They do hit pieces, everything like that, and all you do is ignore them. And you keep doing it, and the fans support you, people who are sane and normal hear you out, and you just keep going forward. And they have nothing. They just
nothing. Keep screaming into the void, and they
keep
get upset.
Screaming into the void.
They get mad for no reason. And
and it's hilarious, right? They get really like triggered, annoyed when they find out that you didn't even hear or know what they said.
I love it when they're like, "Do you know who I am?" No.
Yeah, there was some loser who tried to make this hit piece video against me, right? He got to the point where he was so desperate to hear my response that he even stalked the comments here on Night's Watch to wait for me to reply to someone else, so then he could reply to me, right? And then he tried to bait
start
me.
Something.
Start something. And I was like, I haven't even watched it. I don't give a crap what you say.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
man?
you're powerless. You can't do a thing, and hasn't done a thing, right? And so that's the answer. And I do think it needs people like us standing up and showing people that you can oppose this crap and they can't do it. They can try, right? And all you say is get stuffed. Not listening to you. I know who I am. I know what I'm standing for is right. And that's it. That's the answer. And so I hope, and I already see more people doing that. That's how we win. And the other side, again, is voting with your wallets. People are rejecting this crap. The woke games are failing. The woke movies are failing. People are fed up. They don't want the crap. They just want value, right? Actual good stuff. And part of having good stuff is also having traditional values, like a hero that stands up for actual, noble things. And yeah, that is in a lot of times the man saving the woman, saving the damsel in distress, okay? And men embracing their masculinity, women embracing their femininity, right? Those lead to good stories that resonate with people on a real level, all right? When you abandon fundamental truths like that, it inherently, in most cases, leads to dog crap stories. That's what we've been getting. And so part of the requirement to make good stuff again is a requirement to embrace wholesome, traditional, universal truths that we all once thought was universal and normal. Like Stan Lee, he talks about this. Stan Lee says, like, I don't like to preach to people, and I don't like people preaching to me. I don't think I like it anyway. But what I do want to put into his comics, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is pretty close to what he says, right, is universal truths, right? Once upon a time, men needing to save women, was a universal truth. Women, men are stronger, so sometimes men need to help women out. And there are things that women need to help men out that we, suffer and do worse at as well. But that's problematic now, Nathan.
It's a lot worse now. You can't even have men and stuff doing
You
things.
can't even have men be attracted to women because you have sexy women in games. That's the male game. That's how off the rails we get.
You can't even have heroes.
You can't even have actual heroes.
No, you got to pay the villains now.
Yeah.
And then
they make the heroes villainous, and then they try and make, the villains sympathetic and understand. We saw it in Wheel of Time. We saw it in friggin' Suicide Squad, Justice League, where they hate traditional heroes. They like, Wheel of Time Season 2 was mind-boggling how much time they gave to a villain to make she's just misunderstood. And then the heroes. These heroes in the book series that were near, incorruptible, right? They had those same heroes in the Wheel of Time adaptation make deals with the devil to betray people that trusted them, right? And these were the heroes in the book. That's what they do. And time and time again, they ruined Indiana Jones. They made Indiana Jones betray his core self. They made Luke Skywalker want to murder his nephew, right? We could just list example after example of them wanting to destroy the true hero. And so the course correction to actually make good content again, right? People try and say, oh, you can make good stuff that is still woke. It's like, if woke tries to push away wholesome traditional values, they will never make anything that's good. That's the answer. And so to make something good, we need to embrace these wholesome traditional truths, the universal truths that resonate with us. That's why I love Top Gun Maverick so much. There was so much things that resonated with me about, a hero wanting to protect the next generation, essentially his people he saw as his children. And there's this moment. Look, it's a minor spoiler, but it was one of the most uplifting moments where the main guy, Maverick, right? He sacrifices himself to save the life of the person he saw as his son. The father's duty, Nathan. Oh, just be right here, right? And so just seeing something so true and noble, be depicted, right, makes me love the film even more. It made a better film. And why did it make it better? Because it was a universal truth. It's the father's duty to protect his family, right? But that's problematic.
And it makes you racist and a bigot.
Yeah, it makes me sexist for wanting that, Nathan. Because women don't need no man. Can't women save themselves?
I mean,
that's why there's a movie I don't want to review, but I think I have to. It's called Damsel. It's a Netflix thing, and it's the whole women don't need no man. She can save herself, fight the dragon herself kind of thing. And it's like, is this going to be the princess all over again?
It's going to be painful, Shad.
Keep our watch out on Night's Watch to see if I do force myself to review that piece of crap. Oh, look, it might not be. It's the red flags, Nathan. It's the red flags. I'm seeing the squatting and on the plate.
You don't know it's crap yet.
How do you know it's going to be crap? It's not out yet. You're squatting on my plate, pushing out a turn. We'll see. So, look, it is fun watching this story evolve and them try the same things but fail at it.
We'll see if they keep trying, and I'm really interested to see the pushback.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing the pushback. I'm seeing it on Twitter. I'm seeing it on YouTube. And it's just been mockery of this article is just something to be mocked. It is pathetic rage bait, dog crap written by a racist, an overt, explicit, blatant to be seen racist that hates white people. We can't be racist to white people. It's right there to be seen. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on it because that's what we do. Stay on watch.